Hello everybody, Merry Christmas. I hope you had a good Christmas time. It's December 26th here in Australia. I spent the last 2 days with family and friends, eating, being merry, having a good time, and now it's time to relax for a few days and get ready for a new year. My friend has a 7-year-old son called Adam, or because he's Czech they call him Adamko, and he's a fine young guitar player, and I help him every time I see him. So today the lesson's going to be things so simple a 7-year-old can play them, because these are things that on the 24th of December, on Christmas Eve, he asked me for some Spanish guitar tips as a basically beginner / intermediate 7-year-old kid, and this is what I showed him. So I think pretty much anybody who can play it should be a pretty useful lesson. Today's lesson is actually brought to you by GuitarSumo.com. It's a great new website, a hub for all things guitar related, such as reviews, lessons, downloads and things like that. They reached out to me, I checked out the site, gets the tick of approval. GuitarSumo.com is a great online resource, so you can check that out and you'll keep learning there as well. Now, young Adamko, one of the things he asked me for, and by the way, some of the things I'm going to show you today are treading ground that has been covered previously on this channel. You may have seen similar things taught by me or someone else. You may know them, you may have seen them but ignored them. Regardless of your difficulty level or your level of familiarity with some of these things that I show you, I strongly recommend having a play anyway. There's no such thing as too much practice. And I don't think there's such thing as going over the basics too many times either. Of course, we keep moving forwards and progressing into more difficult and more unusual things. There is nothing wrong, even if you know what I'm about to show you, there is nothing wrong with doing it again and refining it and making it better and better and more perfect, because I'll bet you $1,000 that there's something in your technique of these simple things that could be improved. I have no doubt about that. I've never seen a guitarist, no matter how excellent they were, who couldn't improve their technique on the basics. That's just how it is. The other thing I'll say is that regardless of whether you followed my lessons for a long time or not, at the end of this video I will show something, a string raking technique, something like this, that I've never taught before. I've never taught that to anyone, even in person in my live lessons or anything like that. So there will be some brand new material for those of you who get to the end or fast forward to the end. Okay, so young Adam, 7 years old, the first thing he wanted to learn was a bit of Spanish guitar percussion style things. So I made it as simple as I could. A minor chord. There's just 2 strikes there. We're basically hitting either just on the bridge of the guitar or just behind it. It's not here, we're not hitting here at the kind of main string strumming area. It's back. And depending on what kind of guitar you play, you should get a nice bassy thud. A nice boom. Then we have 3 fingers, the middle 3 fingers. They strike. Kind of curl them back and strike them out. That's how I like to hit. Everyone's got different technique. This is just how I do it. So this one's curl back and strike. And it's just boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, cha. So easy a 7-year-old could do it. Now young Adam picks that up reasonably quickly. So I added 1 level of complexity. I have taught this before, but it's worth going over again, even if you've seen the previous lesson. A nice down hit, an outward strike, a body strike, and a downward strike. So there's 4 hits. Bass, strings, body, strings. And I think of it like drumming, so the bass is like a bass drum, and the body is like a snare drum. It's like boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, da, cha, cha. And you just practice nice and slow, and eventually you get quicker as you're comfortable with that technique. It will take time. And then to the E chord. Of course you can play other chords, but I showed my 7-year-old friend A minor, E major as a great simple Spanish sounding sound. So there's that. I hope that makes sense to you. As I said, practice it, even if you've practiced it before, keep practicing. I still practice that. I've been doing that for years. I still practice it. Okay, so young Adam could handle a bit of chords, a little bit of lead guitar. At the most fundamental thing I like to share with people that want to start to get that sound, on the A minor chord, I just give 3 notes, 5, 7, 8. And you just improvise within that structure, or within those 3 notes. You can play whatever you want, in whatever combination you want, within those 3 notes. Hopefully you get the point. E major, very, very similar, 4, 5, 7 on the high E string. So on the A minor, it's 5, 7, 8. And on the E major, it's 4, 5, 7. Now, if you're lucky enough to have someone at home, a friend, a partner, a bandmate, a kid, I don't know, that plays guitar, get them to play along. They could play some A minor chords and you could play some lead licks. Or you could record on your iPhone, the voice memo app. You could use your computer, of course. You could use a loop pedal, or you might use some backing tracks from guitarsumo.com or from elsewhere. So young Adam, the 7-year-old shredder, picked that up pretty quickly, and we started to incorporate more notes. 5, 7, 8, 10. E, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10. Now, I'm basically, this is about where I got to. Don't forget, this kid really was 7 years old and this story really did happen. This is about where we got to with him. If you're feeling that you are ready to progress past the 7-year-old level, we can fill in kind of a full scale there. So on the A minor, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 12. And when I get to that 12, 13, 12, I love to have a little dance around those notes. And the E, pretty much the same notes except it's got the 4th fret in it. And then they both go really well with a 0, 1 on the top string, which is the same notes, F and E at that 13 and 12th fret. Kind of a very Spanish sound. So we've moved slightly now past where I actually got the young 7-year-old kid up to, but I hope you'll agree that there's some useful little sounds there and some cool stuff. I've been playing the guitar for a long time now and I still find new melodies there, I still find new enjoyment there, I still practice. Just how I'm showing you how to practice here, I still do that despite having learnt or created these ideas many years ago. So as promised, one technique for whether you're more advanced or whether you feel like you've seen that stuff before or whatever, just something else that popped into my mind recently that I thought I would share with YouTube. It's the string mute, or the string rake. So let's say I want to play that note at the 7th fret of the higher string. The normal thing to do would just be to pluck that string. That's fairly standard. I'm sure we've all done that. You can use your thumb, your finger, your pick, that's fine. To get a little bit more pizzazz into it, what I actually do if I want to play a single note like that, or start a lick with a single note like that, I'll play it with my 3rd finger. I'm not using my 1st finger. The 1st finger is kind of a common finger, of course, to play something with. I'm using my 3rd. The reason I'm using my 3rd finger is so that my 1st and 2nd finger can mute the strings. So if I strum my strings, you hear 5 muted strings and the fretted note at the 7th fret. And I'll pluck that, I'll pick that in one pick stroke, da 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 da. I always can compare string raking to like falling down the stairs, do, 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 going down the stairs. And it's just a nice little way to give a bit of string rake. Very subtle sound, but it feels great to play it. And your audience will pick up that there's something interesting and cool going on there. You can hear that almost like whack, whack. And I can exaggerate that sound. By muting harder and plucking closer to the bridge, I can exaggerate that kind of whack. So there you have it, Spanish guitar so simple a 7-year-old can play it, plus a little bonus for those of you who have been around the channel for a long time. Thank you very much. Thank you guitarsumo.com for reaching out. Great way to spread the guitar love. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you next time.